Even though the old man told me to stop for nothing on that road while it's dark, it was natural for me to turn around and go back to help after passing two bodies lying in the middle of the road. I knew I should have listened when the two bodies stood up and another 20 hillbillies poured out from the pitch-black banks on the side of the road to surround me.
A guy I know had something similar happen. He was in Haiti with his sister and her hubby. Driving along the road, they see a car with suitcases and clothes and stuff all over the floor. Two people lying face down. His sister wants to look, the guys think fuck that and carry on driving. They look back, they see people coming out of the tall grass and the two on the ground get up.
This freaked me the fuck out when I heard this for the first time. Think it was on an old forum or some shit. I was driving through the mountains once to visit a family member. It was a 2-lane highway that went around a bunch of turns. I did a 45-degree turn, very fucking sharp turn, pretty dangerous, and had to immediately slam on my brakes. It looked like a pileup that happened in the middle of the road, maybe 5 to 6 cars. There were two things that scared me, though. One, that the cars seemed perfectly fine and were still idling, and two, that they were just bodies on the ground with no marks at all. I ended up weaving through the cars and bodies, not easy since it's a 2-lane road, and as soon as I was out, I looked at my rearview mirror. All the bodies had stood up but were still perfectly still, and there were now people coming out from the hillside, running. Needless to say, I drove out of there as fast as I could, and I definitely didn't drive that road on the way back.
Cool. So, my dad's lived in a few unique places, such as Shreveport, Louisiana, where his family's chimney was struck by lightning, and South Dakota, which is where his first post-college job was. Dad works for an engineering company in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, South Dakota. Shit pay. Right around the time he starts seeing my mom, knew each other in high school, never thought about it, got together after high school. Mom is getting dental hygiene degree back in the Couve. Dad's driving from South Dakota. Takes route through the northeast tip of Wyoming. Country road, tall grass on both sides. Dad has Mustang at the time because fuck you, he loves cars. Sees stopped car by the edge of the road. Couple trying to wave him down, he starts slowing down a good 50 meters behind them. Suddenly sees people in the tall grass starting to come out. He freaks the fuck out and guns it down the road. Looks in rearview mirror and sees about 15 people come out of the grass. I've heard other people tell similar stories like this. Is this a common carjacking technique or cult thing?
B1 a.m., driving home from work at local cinema. Only about 2 streets from my house. See something in the middle of the road, right under a street light. Brake as I get closer, as I realize it's a man. See that there's another dude also lying face down on the footpath on the right side of the road. Put car into park, open door. As I open the door, I see the man's arm flinch. Get strange feeling. Close door. Decide to drive around the man in the street, and stop a bit up the road and call for help. Watch as both men casually stand up and I see what looks like hammers in their hands. Nope the fuck out of there, drive 2 streets home with my lights off in case they see me, and be scared of helping people on the road ever since.
To clarify, I joined the USMC when I was out of high school. This happened several years ago while I was on leave. Driving from California to New Mexico. Taking shortcut through Amboy. At the time a satanic hotspot. Be about 5 p.m. Take a pic of the city sign to prove I actually took I-40 to friends. Get back on the road, get to top of mountain. See some stuff in the middle of the road. Slow down. See a red Pontiac stopped sideways across both lanes. Open suitcase with scattered clothes. Man and woman face down in the road. Stop about 100 feet away. Hair on neck standing up. Immediately pull out my 9mm pistol from under my seat and chamber a round. Way too perfect of an accident scene, like when civilians play dead in Iraq to lure soldiers into a suicide bomb radius. Admit I'm being paranoid, but can't bring myself to leave my vehicle. Scan the road, see a line I could drive. Pass the guy's left, swerve to the woman's right, go behind the Pontiac and I'm clear. Drop into first, gun it. Pass the Pontiac without hitting any bodies, roll forward a bit before slowing down so I can stop panicking. Look in my rearview mirror. The 2 bodies are on their knees. 20 or so people emerge from the tall grass on either side of the road. Slammed my foot onto the gas and speed down I-40 until I got onto the next on-ramp. Eat up a ton of gas and coolant, nearly destroyed my Mustang's engine. Stop taking shortcuts to get anywhere. I will never know what would have happened to me had I gotten out of the car to check on the bodies or stopped my car closer to them, and by God, I'm glad I never will.
Boyfriend at the time lives 2 hours away in a remote town smaller than the one I live in. He comes to get me on weekends to spend time with him at his place. Road between our towns is super remote, barely any houses along it, and has no gas stations in the 2-hour stretch. Boyfriend at the time and he had to pull over to pee. This stretch has no street lights, no gas station, so you're pretty much fucked if you break down. He drove the car to the truck pull-over part, not sure what they're called, and got out and stood next to my open window facing away from the road so we could keep talking while he did his thing. He got back in the car and I thought I had heard someone call out. Now I watch a lot of spoopy movies and something in my brain told me not to just get out of the car and start looking around for this noise. Now the spot we had parked had no houses nearby, we hadn't passed any cars in at least an hour, so it freaked me out a bit. I told my boyfriend what I heard and he fluffed it off saying I was hearing things. He goes to start the car and I hear it louder. It sounds like a woman who's chain smoked her whole life screaming out, "Help me." Boyfriend hears it too, starts the car with the intention of reversing so he could shine the headlights on the area the noise is coming from. I'm a half out the window squinting into the darkness trying to spot the person. As the car starts, 5 people stand up from the tall grass and a man yells out, "She asked for help, cunt," and a group of people laughing. They were maybe 10 meters away and started towards the car and I am freaking the fuck out. Boyfriend slams car into gear and speeds off while I'm winding up my window as fast as I can. People run onto the road and after the car. 2 out of the 5 people were holding sticks, I think. Could have been bats. Nope, the fuck out, call police, and they said they'd send someone to check the area. Never fucking stop to piss along that stretch again.